All right, welcome to Mary Walter Radio. Sorry, I was speaking to our guest and I totally forgot to put up the countdown. So I'm sorry about that, but that's okay. Welcome to Mary Walter Radio, the live cast. It's so great to see everybody here. If you are over on Rumble, thank you for watching on Rumble, because if you comment over on Rumble, the more you comment, I can actually make money on that. Did you know that? I made like $1 on the Rumble with Brock Schneider. I made like $1. So if you get over there, I don't care what you post, just keep posting. I can make like 30 cents. So that every penny helps. So that would be fantastic. If you're watching on YouTube, Get a Rumble, whatever, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it very, very much. And by the way, if you are over on Rumble and you are posting over there, the comments will transfer over here to so that they're all aggregate. The only one that doesn't transfer over is the Getter comments, and those I have to read from Getter. But so it's easier if you do it on Rumble or YouTube, preferably Rumble. Oh, and Suze, I don't know if Suze is here with us yet. I'm going to bring our guest in just a hot second. Is Suze here yet? No. We've got Patrick is here, who is Scott. Hermit's here. Bill is here. Yitzhak is here. Hello, Yitzhak. Yitzhak's very excited. He says, our guest, Jake Novak, knowledgeable guy. Yes. He says, Jake does X spaces too, finance emails. We'll find out about that. Watching Your Back is here. Rebecca's here. Gregory is here. I'll go to Rumble and post one letter at a time. It won't make much sense, but Mary will make a big coin. Thank you. I don't know why everyone watches on YouTube. I'm grateful. But did you guys notice I heard your cries and I made the YouTube video today only horizontal? It's only horizontal because people were complaining that it was horizontal. One was horizontal, one was vertical, and everybody kept clicking on the vertical one. That's not my fault. But like over 100 people watched more on the vertical than the horizontal. So if my numbers go down, because fewer people are watching because they're not watching the horizontal for whatever reason, I'm going back to both. And you guys just got to be careful which one you choose. All right. So that's that. All right. So let's bring him in. You know who my guest is, Jake Novak. Welcome back to Mary Walter Radio. So glad to have you.
It's always good to be able to broadcast over the border into New Jersey. I hope that, the free state of New Jersey. I'm more the tip of the spear here on Long Island, close to the communist controlled New York City. But I'm kind of like the watchman. I'm one of the night watch, like from Game of Thrones. I'm on the wall. I'm on the wall for you, New Jersey.
Although to be fair, you're out on the island, so yeah. You're not really in the thick of it in New York. See, somebody always texts me or calls me during the show without fail. We were just talking about that off the air. But so you're out on Long Island, and nobody goes out there because my husband's sister and her husband live out in Dix Hills. The last time we went there had to be 10 years ago. And it took us, we went out there when my father-in-law was in the hospital out there. And it's 4 hours on a Thursday at 10 a.m. I can drive to Washington, D.C. in less time than that.
The New Jersey to Long Island commute stinks unless you do it really early in the morning or really, really late at night. Long Island to New Jersey, Long Island to even like Nassau County to Brooklyn stinks, frankly. That's not good either. But we're good for some other things. And I live walking distance to a very nice Long Island Railroad station. So I get into the city in 40 minutes. I'm good.
All right. Well, good for you. I'm glad. So listen, Jake is the host on Real America's Voices. He is the host of American Sunrise, the early edition. You can find him on Real America's Voice News. You can go online and you can find out where to watch it. And that's americasvoice.news. is where you find that. And then you can look, it's Roku, it's Apple, it's I think it's on Prime. Is your own Prime? I think it's on Prime. Yep. So see, I did my homework. Yeah. Look at that. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, we're not yet on the Playboy channel. I'm hoping to get on the Playboy channel, but not yet. We're working on it.
Yeah. Does that still exist? You may not want to get on there because I don't think it exists anymore. Does it?
Yeah. Don't crush my dreams.
I'm sorry. You were born too late. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you're born too late. You can also follow him on all socials at Jake NY. So if you ever leave the communist state of New York, you're going to have to become Jake something else.
Yeah. I think I'll just be the free state of Jake. I'm just glad that my name is popular again. When I was a kid, there were no other Jacobs or Jakes. It was a dead name. I mean, it was dead. And then now it's like the most common name, but I'm like the oldest one anyone knows because everyone else named Jake is like 30 at the most. So it works out.
Yep. The 35 plus crowd, 30 plus crowd is all, oh, you're drop something. It's all, where'd it go? Oh, God. There it is. I dropped something and it just disappears. That's the generation of all Jake's, Joshua's, Jared's. They're all J's, and I can't keep them straight at all. Like I cannot. They're all Jake, Joshua, Jared. Like there's like a whole bunch of them that are all J names, and it was very trendy and very popular. But you were a trendsetter.
Yeah, I was, and just didn't. That woman on Romper Room never saw me in the magic mirror. Things like that. It still scars me. It really did.
Okay, my name is Mary, and I would sit there like a mental patient watching the television, waiting for her magic mirror. Tell me today, have all my friends had fun at play? And I'd be say my name, say my name, and she'd always say like Curtis and like all these other, and she never said Mary, never ever 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 said Mary.
No, I know it's
okay. I'm going to go off on a tangent here.
It's a conspiracy.
Did you? And then we'll get to some of these comments that are already coming in for you. You grew up in New York, right?
No, well, yes. I mean, I came to New York around high school time. I grew up in the South mostly.
You don't remember. Okay.
But I came to New York in 1981, so I've got a long, I got a long way to go there.
No, there was a show on when we were kids, like little kids, and it was called Birthday House, and it only aired locally in New York.
Oh, okay.
And it was with this guy Paul Tripp, and it was one of these very early black and white kids shows. And I was actually on it. I got on it because my aunt worked on the program. So I was supposed to be on for my birthday. And I was like 4. And they shot a rocket off for my birthday. So I couldn't be on the show. They got preempted. So they invited me back another time. But because it wasn't my birthday that time, I couldn't wear a crown. So I was really upset. So I thought maybe since you were talking about Romper Room, maybe you knew Birthday House.
No. It rings a bell. People told me about it. But no, I never watched it. No.
I thought I was like the only person who remembers Birthday House, because whenever I talk about it with people, they look at me like I have 6 heads. They're like, "Are you sure this is real?" I'm like, my parents took pictures of the TV. It's real.
Yeah, well, I was more of a hee-haw kid coming, in Oklahoma City and Norfolk, Virginia. That and the Johnny Cash show, which ran in a loop pretty much my whole childhood. So yeah. I think
what was it? Oh God, not Guy Lombardo, Lawrence Welk. Lawrence Welk was
on.
Lawrence Welk is still on TV, on MeTV. You can still watch the Lawrence Welk show.
Oh man, that show was like, that was back when there were only 3 channels or 4 or 5 channels that came in, and you watched it anyway. But like, if you were under like 90 and you watched that show, you were just waiting for Emergency 1 or The Love Boat to start. That was my theory.
I wasn't allowed to watch The Love Boat. My parents didn't let me watch it. But I would watch it with my grandparents when I would go to my grandparents' house. Sissy and Bobby and, the whole bit. They had the One Token Black Guy for a while there. The whole bit. All right, let's go to some of these comments that are already coming in. Oh, thank you to everyone who's over on Rumble. Hold on, wait a minute. I was looking at YouTube. Hang on a second. False alarm. Got to go over to Rumble. Okay. Because I don't get paid for the comments on YouTube. I get paid for comments over on Rumble.
Oh, nice.
I mean, again, I made like $1 when Brock was on. So, post haste, people. Okay. So, and Greg apparently lied because he is not posting 1 letter at a time over there. Dottie's here from Philly. Yay. Okay. So Yitzhak says, I never had a problem except with money. Jake, stock tips. Do you give stock tips, Jake?
Well, I'm not a financial advisor, so you can't like take my advice and then sue me later and things like that. But, I think one of the things that I've been talking about lately is that a lot of the retail sector is doing better than expected. I keep coming out every day with another retail chain that had better numbers than expected. There are some that are not doing as well. Target is a big one. They are still falling short of the mark. But Walmart is strong. And companies like the Gap are strong right now. And because the expectations have been so low for these companies, I like them to do well going into all the way through the back to school season for next year. So that's one group. I also think that companies that are going to do well with lower interest rates, because we are going to have lower interest rates, are going to do well. And Get ready for Lowe's and Home Depot to come back. They've had a little bit of trouble, but I do think we're going to get some homes sold in the next few months and more places rented, and people are going to get these really great deals on renting and maybe spruce up their rental thing, which isn't always the smartest thing to do, but I'm talking about minor things. So I like those groups. And tech is still really strong. I'm sorry, I don't know if you want to buy Nvidia right now, but Intel looks like a good deal right now. Google again looking good. So there's a lot of good stocks out there right now. I'm just not I don't think our economy is perfect. I'm very, very upset about some aspects of our economy. But the idea that we're on the verge of a depression, like the mainstream media keeps trying to make people think, is really, really, not only is it incorrect, but it's very, very damaging. Because there are some people who are going to be scared off from making the right investments. They're going to sit on their money on their mattress, or sit on a pile of gold like Smaug. Right. And that's not what you ever want to do. Don't do that.
No. All right. I think Gregory moved over to to Rumble, and he said, Jake has some work to do to match Rob's numbers. Rob Carson was on with me last week. So he said, yeah, Jake, you got some work to do. Thank you for moving over to Rumble, Gregory. I appreciate that. D-Man, 1940, 460, D-Man 946, whatever. Thank you for switching over. Appreciate it. So now one of the things you had sent me was American Eagle.
Yeah.
Apparently the American Eagle stock, you posted this, has gone up, and people are crediting Sydney Sweeney and the Sydney Sweeney controversy. And, I want to tie that in with YouTube, but dear Lord, with Target.
Yeah.
Because Target's being boycotted by the right and the left.
Yeah.
I know most moms who have little kids, or even teenagers, cannot live without Target. So I don't understand why their numbers are down. The right started boycotting them over the gay bathing suits for the kids. The tuck-in bathing suits. So your boy could dress like a girl. They started boycotting that over that. So they said okay, and they either got rid of the displays altogether or moved them to the back of the store. Now the left is boycotting them. So They can't win for losing, poor Target. But I got to tell you, I'm one of those people like, I'm not going to Target.
Yeah, really, the reason is it's not really the boycotting or the non-boycotting. Walmart has had a huge, huge upgrade in the experience of their stores and, most importantly, their website. The Walmart.com website, in my opinion, is a better shopping experience than even Amazon now by far. It's a very, very good website. The now outgoing CEO, he's just announced he's going to step down, McKinnon. He did an amazing job with the Walmart website, but he also did a good job with the way that it feels to go into the store. Remember, it used to be kind of dingy, a lot of fluorescent lights. It was pretty. Target made you feel happy. You were in there. It was all bright.
Right.
And Walmart didn't. Now you go into Walmart and it looks like a brighter place. It's a cleaner operation. So it's no mystery to me why they're doing better. And Target just can't beat Walmart on certain prices, especially in some of the grocery stuff. So that's why they're in trouble, not so much the boycotts.
Yeah. So we don't have a Walmart. New Jersey isn't exactly Walmart country.
No.
I don't know why. There is one, and it's about half an hour from me. It's in a dicey area, not totally dicey, but the last time I was in there, I thought there was going to be a race riot because two women started fighting, and I was just like, wigs are coming off, and I was just like, I'm out, and I haven't been back since and this was 5 years ago before it became a thing, so this was a while ago. So my husband goes there now whenever we need something. So or we order it, and you know what? They're very good.
Yeah.
They're really giving Amazon a run for their money because sometimes things will come faster. However, I ordered like lip gloss and a couple of other things. I got a package with just lip gloss in it. The package was like this big, and it was one lip gloss. I'm like, really? I don't think this was the most effective way to do this. You could have put it with the other things, but they were arriving like on day 2 and day 3. So they want you to they want to get it out of system. I'm like, this just doesn't seem to be efficient. And it seems to be a waste of money and packaging that just goes in a landfill somewhere. When my lip gloss comes in something like this big, I guess they only have so many size boxes. And it's always a box. It's never an envelope. It's a box with a lot of stuffing in it. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's in there. And I was like, oh, here it is. It like this big.
Yeah. Someone will figure this out. Someone will figure this out and make efficiencies. You'll see. They're always doing logistical stuff like that. But No, I just think it's interesting that they've upgraded themselves so much at that particular chain. And again, it's really the only entity in America that can challenge Amazon. And Amazon
Yeah.
needs to be challenged because it should be broken up. Amazon should have been broken up as a company back in 2019. They're not, and I don't see that ever happening, which is a shame because it's really scary.
As a stockholder, I'm glad. I
Actually, no,
wanted
you'll
to,
make more money. That's not true, Mayor. You will make more money if it's broken up.
if
It's
this
funny. I
program.
talk about this all the time. If you're breaking up a major monopoly, actually makes money for everyone, including the top executives. So why don't they want it to happen? Because they don't want to give up their power. But you, as a shareholder, will make more money on a breakup. So you should root for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I wanted to buy Walmart a couple of years ago, and for whatever reason, we didn't do it. And I look at my husband like, see, we should have bought Walmart. I told you we should have bought Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
always his fault.
anyway, yeah. Well, no, I told him, okay, Yitzhak says, home sold, money open, waiting for some interest rate drop. I'm trading REE's metals to bullish. No idea what any of that means.
Well, I like metals also. I mean, look, we're going to get a Fed rate cut. And so I do think gold is going to hold its value. It's at the $4,200 an ounce level when it was $2,600 a year ago. I mean, that's a nice jump for gold. I like silver is really close to its all-time high. So I agree with you, Yitzhak. I think metals are a good move right now. The problem is, I think there's even more money to be made in some other things. So make sure you're diversifying. Absolutely, take a look. Make sure you have it as 20% of your portfolio right now, and then get ready to cut it down after the Fed kind of looks like they're finished cutting rates. That's what I would say about that.
Yeah. I do even real estate. We're very diversified.
Yeah.
Star Driver is here. Yay! Thanks for making it. We do appreciate that. Watching Your Back says, didn't Pelosi and her son have something to do with NVIDIA when they went to Taiwan? I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they did. NVIDIA, by the way, we should mention that's the elephant in the room. NVIDIA is the most valuable company in the world based on its stock valuation. It's a multi-trillion-dollar company. And, listen, these companies have very strong and, for the most part, very strong and smart lobbying operations. And it isn't just lobbyists where they go and they beg Congress to do something. It's also lobbying where maybe they have a little meeting with them and they let some information drop that they, supposedly isn't exactly part of lobbying. I wouldn't be surprised. That's one of the things that people are upset about with Nancy Pelosi retiring from Congress. They no longer will be able to follow her investments and make money based on what she's investing in. But you know what? She's still going to be in Congress for a little while. It's like more than a year. I mean, there's no financial plan, or I shouldn't say that. There's no stock picker that will give you much more than a 1-year outlook. So you got more than a year left with Nancy Pelosi. So don't complain yet.
Don't complain yet. Do you follow her?
Yeah, sure I do. There's a whole website. There's an X feed that kind of tells you what she's doing. And there's a website that shows you that kind of thing. There's a website that shows that if you do the exactly same thing as Nancy Pelosi does, and do the opposite of what Jim Cramer on CNBC does, you make those two are always like in competition. Like there was one year where going the opposite Cramer made you more money than going the way Pelosi does. But why don't you just do both, because that's a winning bet either way.
There you go. All right. Gregory says, I guess that you could say that American Eagle's numbers are voluptuous. Can I just say, like, Sydney Sweeney, like, I don't think she's hot. Like, if a woman's hot, I'll say she's hot. Like, Melania Trump is hot. I don't think Sydney Sweeney is hot. Does she have a great body? Yes. But I don't get the uproar. I don't get it. But that's
it's mostly about her physique. Her face is pretty, but it's not like, exotic or anything else like that. But I want to say something about the Sydney Sweeney thing, because we didn't get to it with American Eagle. There are a lot of ad agencies out there that are very large, filled with young, woke people who are just out of school, who are frustrated, who didn't get that job writing in Hollywood or writing their novel. And companies come to them, large and small, and these people look at them and say, we're going to use your company to advance the messaging that we want to advance, as opposed to taking a look at that company and figuring out what's right for them. I don't know the ad agency that decided to do the Sydney Sweeney ad, but whoever that ad agency was someone who knew what they had going for them, put their profits, and by that I mean American Eagle, put their profits, their product first, and ideology and politics and cultural wokeism second or third or fourth, or didn't even consider that at all. And look what happened. I mean, massive money coming in from an ad campaign. Not a better product necessarily. I mean, I'm sure the products are wonderful. I really don't know. But from this ad campaign, that just goes to show that you have to hire the right ad campaign. Advertising does work, even in this day and age. but you got to have the right ad. I mean, a lot of people would try to look at that company and say like, well, let's do something about global warming or electric cars. It's like, no, that's not what we're selling here. We're selling a look, we're selling an attitude, and you have to work with us. And I don't think that there's enough people on Madison Avenue who do that. But look what happens when they do. My goodness, what a big win from an ad campaign alone.
Yeah, it matters. Art, it's my birthday. Can I get a shout out from the IT guy? Art, well, happy birthday. I love the picture. That's hilarious. The IT guy is at a wake. So he's not here to wish you happy birthday, but he'll be here hopefully soon. I mean, how long well, the wake's an hour away. So in bad weather. So I don't know if he gets in time, I will have him wish you happy birthday, but second best, happy birthday, Art. Okay. Idiot Sock Rare Earth Processing. The guys developed a rapid non-toxic method to recycle REE waste. Penny stock right now. WMT was watching for years. I shop Walmart all the time.
Yeah,
okay.
Listen, just be careful with the penny stocks. I wouldn't put more than a couple percentage points of whatever money you have to invest in them. Everyone wants to hit a home run. Stick with your singles and doubles when it comes to it. This is just my friendly advice. But at the same time, if you feel strongly about a potential home run, then just put money that you can afford to lose into it and see what happens.
Right. It's got to be money you can afford to lose. Hermit says the drive-by media and the gangster reporters want America and us to have financial and social problems in the name of equity. Agree. D-Man over on Rumble. Thank you. Agreed. Walmart online is so much better than Amazon. Star Driver, the lighting is so much better in Walmart. It's much easier to see all the fights.
Yeah.
Now, I go to Walmart in Montana. I go to Walmart in upstate New York. In upstate New York, it's the only game in town. That's where you get your groceries.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they have. So I and they redid the store, and honestly, they got rid of some stuff that I liked up there that I would look forward to my annual trip to Walmart. I would be very excited, and they got rid of some stuff, and I was like, oh.
Which town was this in? Because I used to go to the Walmart in Binghamton because my daughter was going to college there. She graduated in May. But the Walmart in Binghamton was the place to be, man. It was a nice, big, clean place. And every time I visited my daughter, I would go, you know what I get at Walmart? I think a lot of people get these kinds of things at Walmart. I would get things like tube socks and undershirts and, toothpaste, things that are just basic things that there's no designer level of them. I don't really care. I just want to have, these are things that I need. And that's where you should go to Walmart to shop, clearly.
Yeah. I like the little pies that they have that come in that little brown box. The pecan pie is actually really, really good. And if you find the day old stuff, they're like 75 cents. That's so right. I would buy it. I would buy it on the day old thing. But anyway.
Also, Walmart, there's a woman who made a TikTok right before Thanksgiving about how Walmarts are a great place to stop as your roast up. Don't go to the service stations and the rest stops where things are overpriced. Go to a Walmart where they still have like the $2 meals that you and your family can have. They have a clean bathroom, and they usually have a gas station either near them or even as part of the Walmart, like the Sam's Club next door. So Walmart is a much better, if you can figure it out on your GPS, stop at a Walmart on your next road trip and not the official rest stop.
I have never seen a Walmart with a gas station. That's exciting. The Walmart, when I told you I went to New York, I said upstate, not Binghamton. Upstate, Ticonderoga.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Upstate. Real Binghamton upstate. Is not upstate. I realize if you're Western. On the island, that's upstate, but it's really not upstate.
No.
So we go way far up. Valhalla, thank you over on X Valhalla. Love the new backdrop. Here to smash the thumb for you. Thank you so much. Yes, please, everybody, could you please hit the thumbs up? Regardless of where you're watching, if you could please do that, please subscribe. Thank you. I know I hate begging, but once I found out I can make money, and I had no idea I can make money in Rebel. I had no idea. And so I'm wandering around on it the other day, and I was like, oh, I made $1 when Brock was on. I made $1. I was so excited. It was awesome. So yeah, apparently I can make money like $1 here, $1 there. It's very exciting. Let's see. Walmart is bad. Oh, Valhalla doesn't like Walmart. But there was something about packaging. Hold on. Who made the packaging comment over on X? Here it is. Gregory, Walmart management needs to ride the herd on their packaging department. Rebecca is over on Rumble. Thank you. Gold and silver mining stocks. Yitzhak says. I don't know that much about stuff. This is why we pay somebody to do it for us.
Yeah, I mean, look. I just think there's a lot of, the easiest thing for someone to say is it's a stock picker's market. It's always a stock picker's market because even in the best and worst of times, some stocks are doing well and some
Right.
aren't. It's not always a high tide lifts all boats. But no, I agree on this particular case. The gold and the mining stocks, they have had a much faster margin higher, especially some of them that are based in Canada. So check those out.
Yeah. I don't know if this is Mike McVeigh. I don't know if this is him. Mike, if it's you, hi, honey. Got to blow. Had the same problem with Amazon. Food products sent in envelopes instead of boxes always arrived crushed. Now, what? I'm a big fan of efficiency. I really am. I should have been an efficiency expert because I'm a big fan of why. Like I look at stuff arrives. I'm like, why? Why is this? And somebody somewhere decided, well, we have to get everything out as soon as we can. And this was like right there. So they put this in a box, this big, threw it in and shipped it off because I'll get it right away. And they're trying to beat Amazon. But when on the other end, I get that. I'm like, I have so many boxes. We do nothing but break down boxes. Well, I don't. My husband does it. I make it. The IT department does it. I make him do that. Although now that it's winter, we'll burn a lot of stuff. So there's that.
And
he helps with it.
News on Amazon. I'm going to talk about this on my show tomorrow. Amazon is going to be testing out 30-minute or less delivery in 2 cities starting now: Seattle, Washington, and Philadelphia, PA. Now, this is not for them to compete against Walmart, Mary. This is for them to compete against DoorDash and Uber Eats. They're hoping people are going to want to get their toothpaste and things like that. But I want to say something else about this. Also leads me to my comment about that I want to make about DoorDash. I am a huge basically detractor of government economic reports. I don't care who the president is or whatever. I don't like them. I don't trust them. I don't like the way they're compiled, which is why I'm absolutely overjoyed that DoorDash, starting last month, started its own inflation and price report. And it was really an interesting one because it showed that inflation was coming down on most consumer products and that consumers had more money to spend as well. Now, I like that result. I was happy to see good news, but that's not the biggest reason why I was happy. The biggest reason I was happy is because DoorDash, which does so much more than deliver food, they also deliver these things like consumer staples. That's toothbrushes, toothpaste, all those kinds of consumer staples. They really know. If anyone's going to know about where the prices are for consumer staples, it's DoorDash. And they had an interesting report. So from now on, I'm really going to be looking forward to every month the DoorDash report, much more than the CPI and the producer price index and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that.
Well, we all have to have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. You're so cute. My husband says something like, "Oh, you're cute," I've never door dashed. We don't have things delivered like that. I don't understand this inability to wait, till tomorrow to get something. I don't understand paying exorbitant delivery fees and then complaining that you don't have any money and that everything's too expensive. None of that makes sense to me, but I'm old. So that's also why I have more money, because I don't spend it on things like that. I never have. But the whole time my husband and I have been married, I think we've had food delivered maybe twice in our whole marriage. That's why I got married. He goes to go get it.
Yeah,
that's the deal. That's the deal. They're like, "Oh, do you want it delivered?" I'm like, "Nope, I got a husband. Off he goes." He goes to get it.
Yeah, I always go and pick it up. I throw a couple of dollars to the staff there, that as opposed to a really big delivery fee. That I always go and pick it up. And if the weather's bad, it's like, well, then I really don't want them to deliver it because then I'm really going to feel bad for them and want to give them $50. So of course I go and pick it up and bring it home. Yeah.
Yeah. Star Driver says, I've been buying precious metals, lead, copper, and brass. Yes. Did you notice they stopped stealing copper? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like they're not stealing it off houses anymore. It must have gone down in price.
No, they're stealing it off of other things now. Now they're stealing it off of like municipal lampposts. They're stealing it off of public property now. That's where they've moved on to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's always nice I guess it's always nice if you have them to wake up to your gutters.
Yeah.
Still being on your house. Yitzhak says, my son followed Pelosi and Tuberville for stocks.
Well, yeah.
Yitzhak liked your comments about Kramer. Yitzhak also says Sydney is very sexy. Yitzhak, if you're going to comment this much, you get your butt over to Rumble and make me like 30 cents. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. He says Sydney is very sexy. I'll put my teeth back in for her.
Okay.
Herman says I'm hotter than Sydney, sweetie. Yeah, there you go. Because you can't see what's down here. I ain't got what she's got. That's for damn sure. Art said I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. I'll tell you that. Well, of course. The weenie ad rocked. Missed the S, he says. Suze, everyone, I'm late to the party. Suze, I'm glad you're here. A little behind on the comments here, but I just want to let you know, for you on YouTube, I only chose the horizontal picture. I did not choose the horizontal and the vertical to make you happy. But if there are fewer views because people aren't watching the horizontal and because more people are watching the vertical, I'm going back to it, and you're just going to have to figure out how not to get the vertical. Okay, that's just the way it's going to have to be. It's like Ghirardelli dark chocolate cheaper than Amazon. Dairy's always cheapest. Eggs too. Okay. Star says, when I drove entertainer buses, 24-hour Walmarts were lifesavers for us. You could stop and pick up what you needed for the band, and they could sleep while you did it.
That's right.
He's got to have good stories, right?
Yeah.
Like he used to drive tour buses for bands.
Oh, wow. Showtime had a show on like 6 or 7 years ago. It only lasted one season, but it was about roadies. And the concept was good. I don't know if they pulled it off that well, but the concept was really good. It's just without a real band to connect it to, it was a little hard to get into, but it was a good show. It was a good show.
Yeah. Yitzhak says the Bronx is upstate. Survivor says Walmart is a great place to get tires too.
Oh, okay.
Will Rumble send you a $10.99? Not for $1. So far, I think I've got like $1.30 out of all my so I don't think so. You guys have to just keep writing stuff over there. Like that's the key. It's got a rants, Rumble rants apparently. I don't know. Just found out about it. Walmart's a great place to get tires. The only depressing thing about knowing the future and how the world ends is that absolutely nobody cares. That's really deep.
Oh.
Rebecca says, my hubby's been working for Walmart for over 25 years.
Very nice.
Very nice. Like I said, Walmart, the first time I was ever in a Walmart in my whole life was 2006, maybe. Okay. First time I was ever in a Walmart in Montana. If
you've never gone to Bentonville, Walmart's headquarters, Walmart, I don't know if Amazon does this. I'm sure they do something like it, but Walmart does it best. Walmart has like a on-site academy for some smaller businesses that where they either get their items sold at Walmart or they'll show them how to do it. And you spend a week there and you really learn about the big time retail distribution. And I know some people who have done that, and it's apparently it's really quite impressive. And it's a very, very ritzy town. The top executives live in Bentonville, and they have these incredibly large homes with these incredibly big compounds and things like that in the middle of Arkansas.
There was a television show about rich people in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And I was like, why Arkansas? Like, it's in the deep recesses of my brain. I think I watched one episode and I was done.
Yeah.
Was not nearly as good as the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So yeah. I was out. I don't have a lot of time. So
don't start with me on the Real Housewives show. I have a huge those shows are really like, as a father of 2 daughters, I can't abide those programs. And I'm so angry about them. So I try to hold myself back on that if I can.
Well, sorry, it's my guilty pleasure. Now I know who Art is. He said, I thought the IT guy made bank as a doctor. You're talking about being happy over $1. You're damn right. If I saw $1 on the street, would you bend over and pick it up? You're damn right I would. And trips to Walmart. Yeah, because Walmart's like exciting because I don't get to go to them except like twice a year. I think if I sent you a bus ticket and $100, you'd be the next Mrs. Seaburger. Now I know who Art is. Thank you, Odin. Odin, if you're going to post like this, you really should do it over on over on Rumble and not on YouTube, because he's posting a lot and it's great. And I can make money on him. Yitzhak says, Jake comes on in X Spaces, kind of the Mideast Jew rooms. What does he think about spaces and the personalities in the Israel sphere and Trump's World Liberty Financial in the UAE? So in other words, what do you think about everything in the Middle East? Yitzhak would like to know.
Well, first of all, I take a look at where we are at this point in this year compared to last year. How can you not be thankful? Hamas is pretty much smashed. This war is over for the most part. I know that they keep trying to regroup and things like that, but we're in a better place than we were last year by far. Iran's nuclear ability to annihilate, and the real existential threat has been destroyed thanks to President Trump, who really is the greatest leader for the Jews since Cyrus the Great of Persia allowed the Jews to return to the land of Israel. And that's not hyperbole. It's simple as that. It happens to be true. So I'm very happy about the situation compared to where it was last year. As far as what we're dealing with now, look, I'm concerned about the new government in Syria. President Trump seems to be very giddy about that government. I think that's part of President Trump trying to just kind of put a happy face on things, which is a smart thing to do as opposed to being negative about it. He's not going to do that until someone attacks him. So that's great. But I'm concerned about where that's going. But as far as the UAE is concerned, let's understand something. We were in an ugly war with Hamas for 2 years, right? And the world was really demonizing Israel to a level that we've never seen before. And the dog that never barked, even though they said one thing here and there, or something, was you never saw Saudi Arabia or UAE say, you know what, we're cutting off oil until you cut off Israel, like they usually do all the time. In fact, the price of oil dropped considerably from the day before the October 7th attacks all the way through that war, and it's much lower now. We were at $90 a barrel on October 6th, 2023. We're at $58 a barrel now. So that has a lot to do with the fact that the UAE and Saudi Arabia are much, much more moderate and understanding than they've ever been before. And so I'm happy about that. Economic opportunities are definitely abundant that weren't there before, and that's also wonderful. But we still have an issue similar to what we have here in the United States that we have in Israel. If you take Benjamin Netanyahu's name off of all of his policies, 90% of Israelis support them. But there is such division over him personally. There is such hatred between the people who like him and the people who don't like him, just like we have here in the United States with President Trump, that you have a situation in Israel where we're almost at a point where the polity, the political social contract has been kind of broken down. It's, again, very similar to what we see here in the United States. And sadly, some of the things that have happened in Israel since October 7th, since even before October 7th, are also happening here. Mary, just before October 7th, and tell me if this sounds familiar, there were a bunch of voices and groups in Israel, radical groups, telling reservists in the Israeli army, don't show up to your duty, don't show up to your posts, because this prime minister is not legitimate. He's doing things that are bad. And just then, after that, you had the October 7th attacks. We have a video comes out here in this country telling our soldiers to question orders, to be basically a seditious act. And then we have the attack on the National Guard troops just a couple of days later. I was worried about that. When that video came out, that's exactly what I said on my show. I said, I hope we aren't going to have an attack now after this kind of stuff. And sure enough, it happened. Thankfully, it was small scale. It certainly isn't small scale for the family of the woman in the National Guard who was killed. To them, that's their whole world, and I understand that. But we need to be ready, because once they start telling the military to question orders and to do this kind of stuff, an attack is imminent. And if they continue to repeat this stuff, we need to be even more vigilant. So everyone pay attention, please.
You wouldn't be saying there's a color war, is there?
Yeah.
Jake says, excuse me, Star Driver wants to know, what about people financing food through DoorDash?
Everyone needs to, you're so right about not spending that extra money. And people are getting credit card debt and things like that. Go to Walmart, go to some of these other stores and buy stuff for your house. My older daughter has a lot of food allergies. And I just told her, you need to start cooking more. She's on her own. She graduated college just in May. And she has learned how to do more cooking. And it's like, in addition to you eating more safely, you're also saving a ton of money. You're not going out for every meal or ordering in for every meal. And it really makes a difference. People need to learn how to do this again. It's just, for a lot of people, it's convenient. Mary, you were talking about how you don't really get food delivered. People who work all day at these corporate parks in the middle of nowhere, and they can't just walk out even on a half-hour lunch break and actually get something, and they want to sleep at home and not prepare their food at home all the time. They use DoorDash because it's a way to be able to not have to lose time at work. And they must not be realizing how much money they're throwing away. It's too much money to be spending on just lunch or breakfast.
You can prep food. You can put it in the freezer, take out a portion and heat it up. Super easy to do. Here, Gregor says, I can't even get a pizza delivered to our house in Central Virginia. Well, here's the thing. I have friends who live in the plains in Central Virginia, and you're right. They can't get anything delivered because they're kind of in the boonies to a certain extent. But why would you want pizza in Virginia anyway? I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We were in Louisville a couple weeks ago in October. So yeah, wow, probably about more than a month ago. And so I used to work on a radio station in Louisville, so I know I'd never met my coworkers because I work from home in New Jersey, but I went to the radio station and they're like, "Oh, you got to try this place, the best pizza." And I just look and I go, "I am not coming to Louisville, Kentucky and eating your pizza. All right.
No.
I don't expect you to come to New Jersey and eat our barbecue. All right.
Yeah.
Fair. Like
Yeah.
fair. I wouldn't expect you to
Food snobbery.
eat what we consider good barbecue, but there is no way I am wasting a meal and money on pizza in Louisville. Not happening. Same thing in Virginia. Good luck.
Okay.
You don't want
Food
it to. That's why
snobbery.
it's a good thing that you can't get it delivered. That's actually a good thing. Let's see. Rebecca, my hubby and Chris Salcedo both think Sydney Sweeney is very, very hot. Well, okay. Okay. You know, that's why there's Baskin Robbins has what, 52 flavors or whatever
Right.
it is. You missed the guy who tried to steal Carper from an EV charging station and was electrocuted. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. And now his mother is suing the charging station for like $3 million because, you know, he was worth $3 million, you know, because he would be worth three. That's what she's losing. That would change her life, that $3 million, because that's what she doesn't have now because of him. And she'll probably win. She'll probably win because we reward stupid. And I'm a big fan of don't commit a crime and these things won't happen.
The 2,000-year-old law. If you break into someone's home or you climb over someone's fence and you're injured by their ox or whatever it is, you are liable. You are not. You don't get any payout. And so going against this ancient, almost natural law that we have is just so disturbing to me. You know, I had to learn when I was in school in yeshiva the Talmudic law about, like, you know, if someone ox scores you because you climbed over their fence, you can't sue the owner. You know, this is an old rule, to say the least, that they're trying to break.
Yeah, that's why we don't have a pool. Scott says they are now putting things copper related up in higher places during construction and after. No more stuff too close to the ground. And that is copper. Yeah, that's because people, well, that kind of makes sense anyway. Why would you put something that's valuable unsecured on a construction site? I mean, you're asking for it to be stolen.
Yeah.
You know, you're asking for it to be stolen.
Are they still stealing catalytic converters? I don't think that the cars anymore have them. Because, like, the cars that had the catalytic converters that were easy to steal are kind of too old now. So there's fewer of them on the road, I think.
I just saw something where what is it, ambulances? Oh, I can't remember what it was, but they weren't running because people kept stealing the catalytic converters, so they just stopped running them. It was like ambulances or something. Yeah, his mom tried to sue the charging company for not making the charging station safe enough. Yes. Star Driver says, Jake, I drove the generator truck for World Championship Wrestling in 1999 to 2001 when they were bought up by WWE. Big sweaty guys in tights.
That sounds like fun.
No,
I once had a job offer from Vince McMahon. This was like, I want to say 20 years ago. And he said, I want you to fly around with me all over the country in my private jet and just basically write the story like a diary. Like, this is what it's like, the travel log of WWE. Okay. And I was like, I don't really think I can do this. And they were offering a lot of money, but I thought to myself, like, let's see, I'll be away from my family. I really don't know that much about pro wrestling. I mean, I know a little bit. I'm not taking this job, but I guess someone did. Someone must have done it.
Well, yeah, I would have done that. Sure. And I would have got Wrestling for Dummies down the street at the store, read up on it. And I know wrestling because my grandmother loved watching wrestling when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, my grandmother watched wrestling and roller derby, and she thought they were both real. And she would scream and yell at the wrestling and the whole bit. And I would tell my mother, like, why is grandma yelling and everything? She's like, it's just a show. I'm like, no, but she had some wrestler that she loved, and she loves. My mother's like, have at it, watch it with her, you know, but don't take it seriously. I was a little kid. I didn't know what it was. She goes, it's like one of your shows. Star Driver says that Walmart truck drivers make really good money. I have a few friends that do it.
Yeah.
Chargers are the ones that are being hit lately. Gregory says, I'm afraid to pick up money anymore because of fentanyl. Really?
Because there's traces of fentanyl on cash. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Go to a hand
take
sanitizer.
That chance.
Whatever.
Just don't lick your fingers afterwards. Go wash your hands. Right? Pick it up and go wash your hands, I guess. Scott says, one time I found $100 bill right when I walked into a local shopping mall here, laying right on the door, on the floor, side on the floor.
Nice.
President Trump is like King David 2.0.
Well, I was comparing him to Cyrus because he's obviously not Jewish and helping the Jewish people. But okay, go for it with King David.
So I will tell you, and I don't know if you heard me, and I know the audience has heard this before, but when I was in Israel with Newsmax in August, we met with President Herzog and Netanyahu. And when we were with Herzog, he did question and answer with us. Like, it was just us, and we sat there with him and his beautiful wife. So nice, just very, very nice, lovely people. And a lot of security guards. I'm like, we've been through security. We had our references checked by the IDF before we even got here. And these guys, I'm like, what do you think we're going to do? Like, it's pretty funny, but and he's little. I did not know this. I felt like a giant in Israel. Like, I didn't know Jewish people were short. I had no idea that the majority of them are little. I didn't know that. I was like, wow, I'm only 5'7" and I'm like a basketball player here. Like I had no idea. And I'm taller than Herzog too. We got a picture with him and I'm like, wow, he's little. But anyway, I asked him about peace in the Middle East, and you had the Abraham Accords, and now you have these countries that are now signaling, peace between India and Pakistan. All the peace treaties that President Trump was doing, peace through prosperity, and that's what he was leveraged to get this. And I said to him, do you believe that there are points in time in history where you had the right people in the right place at the right time, like the fall of the Berlin Wall? Reagan, the Pope John Paul II, Margaret Thatcher, they were the right people at the right time in history, Gorbachev, for it to happen if it was going to happen. Do you believe that right now, with Donald Trump in office, with you, with Netanyahu, and with more moderate leaders like in Saudi Arabia and a lot of the Arab countries, is this the time for peace in the Middle East? And the first thing he said to me is, bless you for asking that question.
Oh, nice.
And then he said, absolutely, now is the time. Okay. He said, if anyone can do it, Trump can do it. This is the right time, the right people. And he feels it's the right time in history for that'll be another one of these moments like the fall of the Berlin Wall. So he thinks it's totally possible.
Yeah. Remember when I said that it's Netanyahu who's kind of like the dividing factor in Israel? Like almost every other issue, the Israeli people, I've never seen them more unified on the major issues, but I've never seen them still more split as a country because they're split over one guy. But support for Trump is like at 90% in Israel. I mean, it's just incredible.
Oh, they love him because we were there. We were the first diplomatic mission back after the war. Yeah. So there was nobody there. There was nobody. We were on one of the first flights back on an American airline. They had only been flying back for a couple of days when we went. And they have signs, make Gaza Israel again. They have big posters of Donald Trump. They would see us and they're like, Trump, like they just assumed because we were Americans, it's Trump. And they love Donald Trump. They just absolutely love him. Let's see. Art says, I haven't heard the parallel between Trump and Benji before. Excellent point, Jake. D-Man says, Mark Kelly and his gang need to be charged.
Yeah. Listen, I
don't think they're going to be, though. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something, though. Obviously, I can't control a prosecution or not, but I found last night at this time, and I ran it on my show this morning. I'm going to run it again tomorrow. I'm actually going to run it a lot. I actually found an actual recording from Tokyo Rose. There were these Japanese American women who got caught in Japan during the war, and some of them did it willingly, but most of them were forced to do these broadcasts, sowing the seeds of sedition and doubt and mutiny in the American troops and in our sailors as well. So I found an actual recording of Tokyo Rose, and it's eerily the same as the Seditious Six video. She comes out, she says, we have great love for you, American soldiers, but it's your superiors and their orderers to you. I mean, it's so similar and it's so scary. There's nothing new under the sun. People need to follow the money with Mark Kelly. I think that there's something going on there with that. It's something that we need to understand here in America now. We might think that we had bigger and more dangerous enemies years and years ago with the Soviet Union and the whole nuclear threat. And there certainly were some big threats back then. But as a country, over the last 20 years, it's the first time, Mary, that we really faced a country with great cash flow. Because even Great Britain during the American Revolution, they were having trouble with their cash flow. That's why they were fighting to keep us in the first place. But right now, the United States' greatest enemies have great cash flow. which means that our politicians and their families are for sale. They've been more for sale now than they've ever been before. With China and Iran and these countries that are against us, they have a lot of money coming in. They can easily buy up our people, and it makes me sad to say, at the end of the day, is the end of what we know as America going to be about a few dollars at the end of the day, and not about ideology and not about failed culture and family? Is it just going to be the people like Mark Kelly? I mean, honestly, when you stand up for drug cartels and you know the kind of cash flow that they have, you have to find out whether this. I need to see. I want to know who paid for that seditious video. I want to know who wrote it. And every time that Mark Kelly goes on TV and the reporter doesn't ask him who wrote the script, who paid for that ad, no one's asked him that. It's a case of journalistic malpractice, to say the least.
Agree. Of course it is. Mike McVie said, "I'm a snob. Pizza makers are some of the ones escaping from New York City and going to Virginia and Kentucky."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the water's not the same. I'll tell you right now, Jews can't make bagels. I'll tell you that. I was, of course, there for 2 weeks and tried bagels at the breakfast buffet, and I was like, wow, okay. The Jews can't make bagels. It's not the Jews, it's the water. You don't have the water from Brooklyn and New York, like this area. It's different. The bagels are different. The bread is different, and the pizza's different.
Yeah, listen, let me give you a hot tip. And Israel, thankfully, stopped doing this because there's not that much around it around anymore. Do not eat American food in Israel. Israel has really embraced its Middle Eastern cuisine. The Middle Eastern restaurants in Israel now dominate. It's an incredible foodie country. But when I was a kid, you used to go to Israel and they would steer the tourists to these kitschier restaurants serving American-style food that was awful. Now, there's only gelato places instead of ice cream. Now there's only falafel. I mean, the food, the natural indigenous food of Israel is so fantastic. So yeah, definitely don't have bagels over in Israel. That would be a waste.
Well, it was on the breakfast buffet, and I'm like, I'm in Israel. I should have a bagel.
No bagel. No.
Horrific. I will say they can't cook beef either. They cannot cook beef. They're awful cooking beef and horrific with hamburgers, horrific with hamburgers and horrific with beef. They are great with chicken, fantastic with chicken.
Is better. Kosher poultry and Israeli poultry is very good. Yeah.
But do not eat beef in Israel because they cook it within an inch of its ever-loving life. Trump would love it, and he'd throw ketchup on it, but it's horrific. We had one good steak at the King David Hotel. That was the only place, but it was made for our group because we were all staying there.
There's an Argentinian steakhouse in Jerusalem that's very good too.
So I missed it. We were in Jerusalem. I missed that. We went to Focaccia Bar, which was really good. The breakfast buffet at the King David is really good. Yeah. We had a lot of stuff that I have no idea what it was because the Israeli government, we were sponsored by the Israeli government the first week. So they took us to all these places to eat. And one place did make us in Jerusalem, you know where the windmill is, the big windmill from the original settlement. So there's like a catering hall, like right there. It's only open for special occasion, whatever. So they took us there on our last night. It was really pretty. The view of the old city is really beautiful. And the first thing they served us was pizza because we were Americans.
No, don't do it.
And I was like, and I'm looking at everybody at my table. I'm like, you're going to eat this and you're going to tell them it's really good. You're not going to be an ugly American. Eat it and tell them it's good. And then they brought out the other stuff, but that was like the appetizer because they were trying to be nice because we were Americans and they were so happy to have tourists back again. So I made everybody at my table eat it. I'm like, don't be rude. Don't be rude. Cars still have catalytic converters, according to D-Man. A lot of women getting into wrestling. All right. So I want to not to go through past all of your comments here, but there are some things we want to get to. We're running out of time here and didn't get to a damn thing we were going to talk about. Mark Kelly was just exposed with a connection with a Chinese company, spy balloons. Yes.
Yeah, and China, of course, is very much embedded into Venezuela. So that is probably where the trail begins and ends. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, and look, I keep hitting the microphone. I'm so sorry. Can you hear that when I hit the microphone? Does it make a sound?
A little.
Okay, sorry. It's the Jersey in me. It's always this. You know, we talk a lot with our hands. Not quite like Gavin Newsom, like weird, like this kind of talking, or Tim Walz with the jazz hands. It's more. It's the Italian. It's just, K Medoc from Northern Ireland. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you. Yay. Thank you for joining us. I'm so flattered. Boy, Jake, look at you bringing him out from Northern Ireland. An Israeli run Israeli restaurant in Boca Raton serving Israeli style food. I found that most of the food is really just Mediterranean or Greek. That's what a lot of it was. It was like a combination of Greek, Mediterranean.
They've embraced they've embraced that local cuisine, and Israelis have become foodies. They've become a lot of amateur wine makers in Israel, by the way. There's a lot of wine you can get all over the country for cheap. It's amazing. It's amazing.
You know what I thought was interesting? We passed so many, because we were all over the country with the government, and then my husband and I hired a tour guide who's affiliated with Newsmax, and we hired him for 2 days, and we went up to Sea of Galilee and to Nazareth, all that, Capernaum. I never passed so many banana farms in my life. I never got a banana in Israel. There was never a banana anywhere for me to eat in Israel. They must ship them all out. Like, you'd think at breakfast there would be bananas. There wasn't a banana anywhere. I'm like, how do I get a banana? Like, I want a banana. And
I don't know about that. No.
They love the pomegranates, but no bananas. Yeah. Very quickly, let me just see if I can get to this real quick. I wanted to play this. Let me see if you can see this. And then I have something at the very end for you guys. I have an update for you on something very personal that I'm going to share with you. So please don't go anywhere. All right. I want to share this. Let me see. This share. All right. So can you see that? You can see the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. I hope it's big enough. If I take you off, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But let me see if I do this. Now, it can't get any bigger. But this is Donald Trump tweeted this or posted this on X, on Truth Social. I don't know if that's a tweet, a truth, whatever it is.
True.
But this is supposedly Venezuelan President Maduro publicly surrendering to President Trump. Trump says Maduro has now turned in state evidence against the Biden administration and is releasing proof that Biden asked the Venezuelan government to ship Tren de Aragua's drug gangs into the U.S. Now, this is Donald Trump's account on Truth Social. So see if you can read the comments at the bottom. If not, I'll read them to you as he speaks.
Utilizar la campaña.
The Biden administration used the campaign of Aragua's. I have a very clear position about that. I tell President Donald Trump with respect. I urge President Donald Trump with respect, ask for reports from the last 4 years of FBI something, because the TikTok thing is in front of it, to request from offices in Colombia, from their offices in Colombia, so that you can see, President Trump, who financed it and moved to the famous train of Aragua. I think it means Tren de Aragua.
Yeah.
Those people took him to Colombia. Those people took him to the United States. Who brought them, asked for vertical reports as known here in Venezuela. We defeated, dismembered, and ended with this group of violent criminals who intended to be used from Colombia with deep ties against the former Biden administration in order to bring terrorism into Venezuela. If there is anything that can be said about this on Tren de Aragua, an extinct one, it's because they wanted the country to attack cities around the country, and we avoided them. Look intelligently with action, President Trump. For those reports that you can tell it to, so they can tell it to you seriously and respectfully, so you will be able to tell the truth of the famous Tren de Aragua. Our migrants are not criminals. They're no bad people. They were immigrants as a result of from sanctions of good people whom hardworking, and in Venezuela, we welcome them as productive forces with a loving hug, welcome them back to their homeland. So I think what he's saying here is that, and what the headline says here is that he's now turned in state evidence against the Biden administration and is releasing proof that Biden asked the Venezuelan government to ship Tren de Aragua gangs into the United States.
Well, you know what? There was clearly an intent to bring in all kinds of very dangerous folks into this country on purpose. Why? It's not 100% clear why on all levels. We know some answers to that question. But I certainly hope that he's got some proof of that, because it would be great if some of the people who arranged this, if this is true, we can find out who they are and maybe prosecute them. But look, you know, obviously that translation wasn't the greatest. We'll have to see what really is going on over there. but hopefully there'll be some follow-up to this. I'd like to hear exactly what that is. Maduro is, a complete, a complete dictator and slob.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with him. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can say is we'll see.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me, but I'd like to know more of the details. I think we all do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I just want to share this with everybody. And you can leave, Jake, if you don't want to deal with this. I just wanted to share about our cat. So if you want to go, I can say goodbye to you and I can do this. It's up to you. If you want to stay, it's up to you.
Let's give that honor to your cat. So I'm gonna leave the stage so your cat can get
all right.
All the honors. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you so much for having me. I will give everyone your information again, and I'll put it up when I edit the video and the audio, and we put it all up. Thank you so much. I know you have an early morning, so I appreciate the time. Have a good one. Bye, Jake.
Okay.
Take care. Bye. All right. So I want to share this with you. Yeah. So here we go. There she is. I don't know if you can see her. There's our girl.
Happy birthday.
Oh, come here. Come here. Say hello. Here, you want to say, hang on. Let me stop sharing this. Hang on. Okay. Say hello to Art.
Happy birthday, Art.
He got his hair cut on his way to the
I rushed home. I was listening in the car and I rushed home just for him.
Oh, he rushed home just for you, Art. All right. So here's our Cheryl girl. Here she is. Oh, share the screen. Why is this not sharing the screen? Can you see that? Can you guys see that? The screen there? Huh. Anyway, it's not very big. I did download it, but I don't think it's not coming up very well. So anyway, that's her. That's our girl. That's Shirley. She liked to hide in the bowl. She would you just be walking downstairs. And then here's the next one. That's her there, sitting on the bed on the iPad. And she looks very cute, but normally she would have a look of total disdain for us on her face. See, I downloaded the picture, but I couldn't figure out how to put the big one up. Do I go to here? I go to here?
No, you have to share the whole screen.
I did. Well, I'm sharing the whole screen, and that's why it looks like this. See?
Right.
Well, anyway, you can see it. They can see it. Patrick says you have a sharp haircut. But anyway, so that's our Cheryl girl. And she's the one that I was telling you about last week that I was exhausted because I was spending so much time with her, sleeping on the floor. And we thought that she was going to defy the odds. The vet said she would make it till not this past week and the weekend before. And she did. And she's doing good. She's walking around and everything, but she stopped eating. And I think I told you last Tuesday that we were feeding her baby food and she was fighting us. And we didn't know what to do. And because of our schedule, she was only getting fed twice a day. And Wednesday I was with her and she's getting up using the litter box. She went in and her butt stuck out. So she peed on the floor, but she was trying. And unfortunately, we had to go to the vet Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. The vet closed at 5. We got in there at 4:30 with her and we wanted the vet to look at her and we thought she was in respiratory distress and they put oxygen on her and she got much better. And then when they took her off the oxygen, she went back into respiratory distress. So we didn't want to take the chance of her, passing away in the middle of the night from respiratory distress. That's got to suck like that. I wouldn't want to do that to me. So, the vet's like, look, she's going to die of respiratory distress. Like that's what's going to happen. And if you don't do it now, she could die overnight by her, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to watch that? Or you could be at the emergency vet on Thanksgiving Day. So we decided it was best for her. So we let her go the night before Thanksgiving. And then on Thanksgiving Day, we buried her. So it was not a super great Thanksgiving. And, I look around the house and I started the year with 3 cats and now I have 1. And so it's sad. It's very sad. And, but she's in a better place and she's with Grace, who we lost in the beginning of the year, our baby Grace, left very abruptly and, unexpectedly because she was the youngest in March and now Shirley in November. And so, so now we only have Oliver, last man standing. Didn't see that coming. And he's our handicap cat. He's the one that everybody said was going to die early and he's still going. So good for him. but it's hard because we're downsizing. We had 6 litter boxes for 3 cats. Then we had 6 litter boxes for 2 cats. And I have 6 litter boxes for 1. So we're downsizing. We're giving a lot of stuff away, a lot of litter boxes, food he won't eat, toys, that kind of stuff that, you don't need for 1 cat, but, we need it for 3. And so sad. And I'm kind of lonely. I'll admit it. The house is quiet. And, it is what it is. But thank you for listening. And thank you for looking at my pictures of my baby girl, of my Cheryl girl. Hey, Doug, Art says you're a show stealer. I don't know if you can hear me. He couldn't hear me anyway. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for all your rumbling. Maybe I'll let you know if we made any money. And thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who subscribes, who likes. Please thumbs up whether you're watching on YouTube or Rumble or Getter, whatever it is. I really, really, really appreciate it. Next week, tomorrow, I am on Newsmax at... Oh gosh, when am I on Newsmax? I'm on the Newsmax TV a lot. This is my lucky week. So I think I'm on tomorrow no, I'm not on tomorrow. Thursday at 4. And then Friday, I'm on the Rob Carson show at 1:30 on his radio show. And then I'm doing Newsmax TV. I'll put it on X. I always try to do that. Follow me if you have not done so, and if you haven't, just want to set an alert, but I do try to put it on Facebook and everything like that. I probably should have written it down before I came here. Anyway, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you for being here. God bless. Stay safe. Bye. Oh, there we go. Bye.